Manhattan, July 3rd, 2026. Madison Square Garden is lit up, but there's no concert tonight. Instead, 1,000 of the most famous people on Earth are stepping out of black cars in tuxedos and gowns. Steven Spielberg, Tom Brady, Selena Gomez, Ed Sheeran, all walking into the same building. For one reason, outside, thousands of fans are pressed against police barricades, just hoping for a glimpse. Then a giant screen flashes two words that stop the entire crowd cold. Just married. But here's what almost nobody knew until hours before it happened. Even the location was kept under total lockdown. Reporters guessed a private island, a quiet mansion in Rhode Island. Nobody guessed an arena in the middle of Manhattan. And that wasn't the only secret buried in that crowd. Somewhere inside was a name that would spark outrage within days. An invitation was about to leak online and vanish just as fast. Someone close to the couple was about to break their silence, and the internet would call it a death sentence. This is the story of how the most watched couple on the planet pulled off the wedding of the decade, and how, even behind total secrecy, the truth still found a way out. But to understand how we got here, we have to go back to a football stadium, a rejected friendship bracelet, and a love story nobody saw coming. Before she was anyone's bride, Taylor Swift was already one of the most famous women alive. A songwriter who turned her own heartbreak into world-conquering albums. By the time her Eras tour launched, she wasn't just a pop star anymore. She was a global event. Stadiums sold out in minutes. Entire cities changed their economies just because she showed up. Travis Kelce built his fame a different way, year after year, on a football field. As tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, he'd already won championships. But outside football circles, most people had never heard his name. Then, in the summer of 2023, their worlds collided. And the way it started sounds almost too simple to be true. Kelce went to one of her Eras tour shows in Kansas City, hoping to meet her. He'd even made a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it, hoping to hand it to her backstage. He never got the chance, so he did something most people in his position never would. He said it out loud on his own podcast. He admitted he was disappointed. He admitted he wanted to give her his number. No one expected this to go anywhere, but Taylor Swift heard about it, and instead of letting it disappear, she leaned in. She called the whole thing metal as hell. Within months, she was in the stands at his games. By February 2024, she was there again, this time watching his team win the Super Bowl. From that point on, they weren't just a celebrity couple anymore. They became something bigger, a symbol. Two completely different worlds, colliding in front of billions of eyes, somehow making it look effortless. But underneath the highlight reels, underneath every viral moment, something else was quietly building. Two of the most photographed people on Earth, trying to fall in love in public. And for 2 years, one question followed them everywhere. When would they get engaged? When it finally happened, what came next would be even harder to control than the relationship itself. In August 2025, the wait ended. Swift and Kelce announced their engagement, and the internet lost its mind instantly. Fans tore through old interviews, old lyrics, hunting for clues they swore had been hiding in plain sight all along. But an engagement between two of the most recognized faces on the planet creates a problem most couples never have to face. How do you plan a wedding when literally everyone on Earth wants to know every detail? Paparazzi camped outside properties linked to Swift, hoping to catch a catering truck, a construction crew, anything. Rumors swirled about a quiet ceremony at her Rhode Island home. Others pointed to a hidden destination far from cameras. The couple said almost nothing, and the silence only made it worse. Behind the scenes, something much bigger was being built. A planner known for handling the most private celebrity events in the world was reportedly brought in. Someone whose entire reputation rested on one thing: making sure nothing leaked before they wanted it to. But keeping a secret from the public is one thing. Keeping a secret from a guest list of 1,000 people is something else entirely. Because when you invite 1,000 of the most famous, most followed people on the planet to one event, you're not just planning a wedding. You're handing out 1,000 chances for something to slip, and it would. As the date crept closer, the secrecy campaign kicked into overdrive. Permits filed with the city. Trucks from major catering suppliers spotted late at night. A Krispy Kreme truck. An artisanal ice cream truck. Over 100 pizzas, reportedly delivered by the owner himself. Reporters and superfans turned into amateur detectives, piecing together clues from loading docks and delivery schedules. Still, officially, nothing was confirmed. Then came Friday, July 3rd. Black cars started arriving at Madison Square Garden, one after another. Hugh Grant, Gwen Stefani, Jimmy Fallon, Tom Brady. The guest list read like a highlight reel of Hollywood, music, and sports, all converging under one roof. Finally, confirmation came. The couple had exchanged vows that evening in front of 1,000 guests. No traditional bridal party. Instead, Swift's brother stood as her man of honor. Kelce's brother stood as his best man. Their friend, comedian Adam Sandler, officiated. It should have ended there. A beautiful, tightly controlled celebration revealed exactly on their terms. But almost immediately, cracks started forming in the wall of secrecy they'd worked so hard to build. Guests who'd been trusted with something intimate started talking. Details about vows, about toasts, about private emotional moments. All of it spilling online within hours. And one leak in particular was about to turn from a harmless slip into something far more serious. It started with a photo. Someone connected to Kelce's inner circle shared a series of images from the wedding weekend. Buried among them was something nobody was supposed to see. The actual wedding invitation, watermarked with his own name. The photo spread in minutes. It was deleted almost as fast. But not before the internet had already taken screenshots. Reactions split instantly. Some thought it was beautiful. Others pointed out the obvious problem. Guests at events like this sign strict agreements not to share anything. And this wasn't just anything. This was the invitation itself. One comment cut straight to the point. If Swift found out, this wouldn't just be embarrassing. It could end that person's place in her world completely. But that wasn't the only storm brewing. Because almost at the same time, a second, far more serious controversy started forming. Photos surfaced online, appearing to show a specific guest at the wedding. The executive chairman of a company under contract with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, seated alongside his son, a sitting state representative. The claims spread like wildfire. Backlash followed almost instantly from fans who felt this didn't add up, didn't match the values so many associated with Swift. Multiple outlets reported the guest had been there, but confirmation never came from her team directly, and that silence only fed the fire further. What was supposed to be one private, joyful night had turned into a public argument, playing out guest by guest, leak by leak. By the days that followed, the full picture came into focus. The couple got the wedding they wanted. Intimate in feeling, even if massive in scale. Personal vows. Family standing beside them instead of a traditional wedding party. A dress and tux designed by the creative director of Christian Dior Haute Couture himself. But they also got something they never planned for. A slow, steady drip of leaks that no signed agreement could fully stop. The guest list controversy refused to die down. Fact-checkers were still digging days later, still trying to confirm exactly who had been in that room. While online, the debate raged on about what it meant for a couple this closely tied to a young, progressive fan base to reportedly welcome a guest connected to immigration enforcement. For two people who had spent years carefully managing what the world saw and didn't see, this was a brutal reminder. When you're this famous, privacy isn't something you can buy. Not even for one night. Not even with 1,000 signatures on 1,000 agreements. And yet, Through all of it, the real story never got lost. Two people from two completely different worlds who found each other because one of them wasn't afraid to admit, out loud, that he wished he'd gotten the chance to hand her his number. That story, the real one, was still the reason a giant screen outside Madison Square Garden could flash two words and make an entire crowd of strangers cheer like it was their own wedding. In the days that followed, the noise slowly started to fade. The leaked photos stopped trending. The guest list debate faded into the background, still unresolved, but no longer front-page news. What remained was simpler. Two people, now married, stepping back into their very public lives together. Their wedding won't be remembered for how well the secret held. It barely held at all. It'll be remembered for what it revealed. That even the most powerful, most guarded couple on the planet can't fully control their own story once it belongs to the world. And for a love story that started with a rejected friendship bracelet in a Kansas City parking lot, maybe that was always going to be true. So, tell me, do you think this was the celebrity wedding of the decade? Or did the leaks and the backlash overshadow the moment itself? Let me know what surprised you the most in the comments. And if you want more stories like this one, make sure you're subscribed, because there's always more happening behind the headlines.